I want to go through a bunch of different leaks for Season 3. Season 3 for Modern Warfare is actually coming sooner than you guys expect. Season 2 started all the way back in the beginning of February, around February 11th. It was supposed to be the end of January, but it was delayed by around 1 to 2 weeks. So it started in February. The seasons usually last around 8 weeks, which is 2 months. And if you do the math, that's going to be the beginning of April. We'll go through the specific dates in which we could see the launch of Season 3. I want to go through a bunch of the different maps that were leaked to be within Season 3, some new maps that were also teased yesterday within the behind the scenes Warzone video, and a bunch of other different stuff. We're going to prepare for Season 3. It's sort of unexpected as to what we're going to see. The theme of Season 2 was clearly the release of Warzone. There seemed to be less content within Season 2 itself, but Warzone, sort of made up for that. But what is the theme for Season 3 now? What are they going for? Are we going to see a lot more 6v6 maps, for example, a lot more Spec Ops maps, or emphasis on Spec Ops, or maybe we'll finally see that campaign DLC they were talking about before the release of Modern Warfare. So a lot of different stuff to go through here. I want to start off very quickly. The Modern Warfare and Warzone servers appear to be experiencing some issues for users right now. Many users have been able to get back in after a restart. This was happening mostly last night, and this is what a lot of people were seeing. Even after a restart, they were seeing this server queue, and servers were pretty much completely down last night. So if this is still happening to you guys right now, definitely let me know. Or if this did happen to you last night, let me know down below how long were you gone for, and if you restarted, were you able to get back in? I wasn't able to get back in at all, but definitely let me know what you guys were experiencing. So let's get on here with the Season 3 stuff. The first thing here is what we saw yesterday, 2 days ago, whenever the behind the scenes trailer for Warzone released. At timestamp 1 minute 4 seconds, you can see a reference towards Village in Modern Warfare. It mentions MP_Village 2 in the code, suggesting the map might be coming soon. Here is the timestamp, 1 minute 4 seconds from that trailer, and you can see, I'll zoom in on the left corner here. You have the Village code within this trailer. That's an obvious teaser. They know that if they're going to show a line of code up on screen, people are going to look at it, people are going to research it, and they did that as an obvious teaser. Village was already leaked in the code for a while now, and it's been coming up several times, whether it's under Season 2 multiplayer maps or Season 3 multiplayer maps within the code. It's in the code, it's there, and now they're finally doing sort of an official teaser of that, so they probably know we've been talking about. Just to go through some more stuff here, for those of you who don't know, Village was available in MW3, however, it's unclear if the code is referring to an entirely new map named Village or a remaster of the original, so that's a good thing to note. Village has been in the code, it's been leaked before, but is it the Village we're thinking of? Is it MW3's Village, which would be really sick, or is it a new Village, a new Modern Warfare specific Village? And that could just be the code name, the multiplayer map name, the actual name could be completely different. So it's important to note that this does not necessarily confirm a map called Village on the horizon either. The reference towards Village could have been merely included for testing purposes, referring to something completely different. We advise fans to remain skeptical until official confirmation. So we get that there. Since the release of Modern Warfare, we've seen various classic maps return to multiplayer. Not only this, but the prospect of a Modern Warfare 3 map arriving in Season 3 would also align with previous theories. And I've talked about this before. Given how the first season included COD 4 maps, Season 2, MW2 maps, it would make sense to see MW3 maps within Season 3. So if this is a Village remake, it would make sense to see other MW3 maps, just to note as well. And we'll talk about this, and you guys already know Hard Hat, an MW3 map that I really want to return to the game. I love Hard Hat, was also leaked, and that also would be coming with Season 3. It didn't come with Season 2. Season 3 would make perfect sense to see that map. The original Village map takes place in an African village. The large size map features a bridge in the middle, stretching right over a creek. This fan favorite map will no doubt be in high demand. Indeed, if the original is coming in Season 3, fans might be able to get their hands on it as early as April 6th. And we'll talk about the official dates for Season 3 and when we might see Season 3 launch in a second. But just to note this here, they're saying Village is a large size map. I mean, from what I remember, at least how MW3 played, Village was, I guess, a relatively large map, but it played pretty quickly. That could just be MW3. With Modern Warfare, you have so many many different things that slows down the pace of the game. Potentially the mounting is a huge issue. So if you think about Village, if they bring Village back and they add some doors, they add mounting to the different trees that are falling over on the map, and you know, the leaning, I feel like it could, I'm not gonna say ruin Village, but make it so Village really becomes just a slower paced map than it was in MW3. Village to me seems like a really fun, fast, high action map. Even though it was a little bit larger than normal, it still was a solid map. So if they could keep that same sort of play style that Village had within MW3 back in Modern Warfare, that would be a really good thing. I think the best remake they did so far was the Rust or I guess it's not a remake, it's a remaster, but bringing back Rust, one of the best maps really brought back into Modern Warfare, at least in my opinion. So if they can have that same sort of style, that would be very cool. Let's talk a little bit now about when will Season 3 of Modern Warfare start. So Season 3 will start on April 7th, and this is when the Battle Pass is going to expire, meaning that the season will last 8 weeks in total. Season 2 will end on the same date with a patch update set to arrive with it. It is supposedly meant to be far smaller going forward. The huge patch with Season 2 was mostly because it included all the assets of Warzone. This time around, they're not adding any huge game mode again, or at least we're pretty sure they're not adding anything huge, so it's going to be a lot smaller. But let's go through the actual dates here as to what we're going to be seeing. So with April, let me put this up on screen. This is the most likely scenario. If there are no delays, if nothing else changes, this is what's going to happen. So April 6th, Monday, Season 2 will end, and then Tuesday, April 7th, Season 3 will begin, and that's just based off of the 2-month, 8-week schedule. Like I said before, Season 1 into Season 2, it was a bit longer. There was a decent delay with Season 2 beginning, and that same thing could happen here again. We're not so sure what would happen. Maybe what's going on right now might have them delay it for some reason. Maybe they're still preparing content. Who knows? But if we're on schedule, this is what we're seeing here. And if you want to just look at a week later, this is probably the latest we're going to see Season 3 begin. Monday, April 13th would be the end of Season 2, and then Tuesday, April 14th would be the latest I would say Season 3 would begin. So those are the dates, and again, it's coming up pretty soon. It's March 24th right now, and before you know it, we're going to be in April, and we're going to be getting ready to see what we're going to have for Season 3. Now, Season 2 isn't exactly over, and we still could have a couple of solid weeks of Season 2 left to see some more content, and if anything, it would be, or it would have to be, some sort of surprise content for this stuff to come true. What I'm talking about is a bunch of the leaked maps that we have been talking about, and I'll definitely make a separate video as we really get closer to Season 3, probably around the first week of April. We'll finalize what are the likely maps, and we'll probably get some other leaks really finalizing what are the 4 to 5 maps we see within Season 3, but there are a ton of maps, like 15 maps, that were leaked at the beginning of Season 2 and leaked back when Modern Warfare first came out, and we've been getting some of these maps and also some of these maps we haven't been getting, and we got to figure out which ones we're actually getting for Season 3 now. So some of the things that were here: Borderline, Takedown, Backlot, Village, Offshore, Farida, Emporium, Layover, Hard Hat, and then the other maps that are even further down the line apparently: Assault, Harbor, Breakneck, and then Fork, Hook, and Exclusion, and Fork, Hook, and Exclusion are all gunfight maps. So the last couple of maps there we have not seen whatsoever. Those all seem like completely new Modern Warfare maps, and those are probably going to be spread out amongst the next couple of seasons. So maybe we'll get one of those in the new season. I'd assume that we're going to be getting, like with Season 2, we got 2 new 6v6 maps and then 1 remastered 6v6 map. And next time around, at least if they're going with the COD 4, MW2, and then MW3 cycle, we have, at least in terms of MW3, Hard Hat, Village, obviously we talked about. Offshore was also an MW3 multiplayer map. So if we do see all of these return, that's already 3 remastered MW3 maps coming to the game, which would almost likely release within Season 3, and that would be a lot more compared to Season 2, and that would be on par with what we saw with Season 1, because Season 1 we also saw 3 remastered COD 4 maps come to the game. Now here's the question: as I said in the beginning of the video, Season 3 is it going to have more content because we're not getting Warzone? My theory, and they didn't officially say, but I think mine and most people's theories were that Season 2 had slightly less content. It was similar to Season 1, but it seems like it was slightly less, maybe because Warzone was releasing, and Warzone really was the main focus of Season 2, and Season 2 just had some extra content surrounding that. I feel like with Season 3, now since there isn't a major mode that's being added like Warzone, they could probably up the multiplayer map, so we could still see Hard Hat, Village, potentially even Offshore as the remastered maps, and then we can maybe see Assault added, and that would round out with 4 6v6 multiplayer maps, and a ground war map, a few gunfight maps, a bunch of other weapons, and then you really pretty much have Season 3 there. So we'll see what happens, but we're getting pretty soon to figuring out what exactly this is going to be all about. So I'll definitely let you guys know when the time comes. Leave a comment below Season 3 if you watched the whole video. It's greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys later.